Surprise, everybody. We are back together and to talk about 2026 astrology, a year of shock, surprises, and totally new energy, and things coming out of the blue, like us right now, Julie.
I love this intro, Meg. I absolutely love it. Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us in this video where we're going to share everything that is going to happen with the astrology in 2026, at least the most important stuff that you need to know.
Mhm.
And I think you summed it up pretty well, Meg. Shock, surprises, new energy. There's a lot of like once in a lifetime sort of astrology transits. So we're going to go through that, right?
That's right. Totally right. So excited and missed you, Julie. And I'm just so happy that we get to nerd out once again.
Yeah, like I have to say, I miss you so much. I miss talking about astrology, doing YouTube videos with you. But I think it's also like telling of the energies. Like we're stepping into a whole new world in 2026. You and I as well. So and we're reuniting for to offer you this very unique video, and I hope you get a lot of clarity and you can prepare as best as you can while we share what we know best and what we do best, which is astrology.
That's right. And
That's
there's so much for us to say. I feel like it's we're talking about a whole year. So we're going to go over, like Julie and I kind of concised the things that we think are some of the most important transits.
Yeah, well said. So we're gonna go, I think, 8 or 9 big points that we have, and we're gonna try to do it as clear and to the point as possible for all of you who are not maybe big astrology nerds, but you still like to know what's coming up for this year. Meg, in a nutshell, how would you describe, after making a lot of research for this video, how would you describe in a nutshell 2026?
Oh my God, it's so crazy as an astrologer. And I know you know this, Julie, because part of being an astrologer is you're like a psychotherapist, a historian, a researcher. You're so many different things at the same time. And we spend so much time looking at the past and also what's to come. So I always find it challenging to go, okay, here's what the concise of what this year is. But to me, the main thing that comes up is we are charging forward into the future with this energy.
Well said. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
I was going from building from the ground up. So I think we're kind of on similar wavelengths here.
Mhm.
And also, I would add to that quickening. I feel like there's so much energy in air signs this year that I think like everything is going to quicken, like the energy, the time, even everything, advancements, technology. So, and connection, because it's also an air quality to be able to connect with other people. So we're gonna talk about that. And okay, I because we were talking a lot before making this video, Meg, and you shared something with me that I think it's important that you may share with the public.
Yeah.
We're transitioning from a year of the snake, the wood snake, to a year of the horse, the fire horse. But
Right.
this doesn't happen until the eclipse on February 17th. So we're not there yet. And also, we're transitioning from a year 9 to a year 1, which is amazing because a lot of
Mhm.
us were, transforming, transmuting a lot of stuff, healing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're like, I'm so over it.
Yeah,
Ah!
I
Um,
laughed. Sorry to interrupt you, Julie, but I laughed so hard before coming on with you. I was just thinking about, oh my God, the relief us astrologers feel that we are stepping out of this Neptune and Pisces and just all of this mud of these outer planets and water and earth. Like, we're over it. Thank God. We're getting over
this
this.
this is harsh. This was harsh, and I hope and listen to this video because I think it's going to give you hope that we're clearly getting out at least of this period of
Yeah.
transmutation, healing, clearing past lives, karma, past life patterns, a lot of that. Like I know we were talking a lot about that in 2025, but now it's really coming to an end. And you did say something about the end of the snake year, Meg.
Right. Yeah, I heard somebody share from a Chinese astrologer friend that they knew, and I never heard about this before. I thought it was so interesting that the whole snake year we're going through these endings and of course letting go of what no longer serves. shedding the skin. That's like the trendy term to use, right? We're shedding the skin. But if you think about a snake, the snake sheds its skin all at once, right? It's not like, oh, I'm just going to shed this little bit and then this little bit. It's all at once. Have you ever seen like a snake skin in real life, Julie?
I haven't.
I've seen it a couple times, and it's actually really synchronistic because during the holidays, I was with my mom, and she lives in Florida at the moment. And when I arrived at her house, there was a snake skin right beside her front door to the left of her front door. Just perfect snake skin. And it looks like a snake. You think, oh my God, that's a white snake. So if you think about how the snake sheds its skin and it's all at once at the end of that transformation period, that's what we're in right now. And I'm getting chills as I say this. So it's actually most intense at the end of the snake year, which we're in right now until February 17th when the fire horse starts. So this can be where I know I've been having this, a lot of other people around me have been having this too, like very profound revealings, healing opportunities, reality checks, like final cords being cut. It's an intense energy. So I feel like it's important for us right now to really like be gentle with ourselves at the end of this year.
Well said. And plus, I feel like the astrology backs up like the Chinese astrology as well. Like we do Western astrology. I think like it's so on point also with Saturn and Neptune finally leaving the sign of Pisces. And we get into eclipse season quite early this year, February and March, where the new Chinese year starts. And plus the numerology also backs up like that we're going to feel a drastic shift in energy from a
Right.
year 9 to completing past chapters, healing, to a year 1 starting new things. And like all the air signs are going to be or almost activated with big planets. So this is going to be huge. Stay tuned because we're going to give you all the details. And if you're looking for a video that's going to give you hope that we're certainly moving forward and into the future, like you said in the beginning, this is the video for you.
Yay.
Before we dive into our main content, we have a little of an announcement. So if you'd like to download the 2026 so this is an online digital astro calendar, so you can print it out and have it handy so you can plan all your stuff for this year. The link will be down below. And also, what do we have here, Meg, on your website, megmoonbeam.com?
Yeah, so I have a couple new memberships available. I'm now going totally uncensored on my website, Julie. I do not like, as a Scorpio with my Pluto and Scorpio, having to censor myself on YouTube and Rumble. So I'm moving over my live horoscopes over to the membership. There's monthly Wheel of the Year, traditional Celtic celebrations with the equinoxes and the solstices and all that kind of stuff. Sunny is doing monthly tarot scopes, and there's a community on there and all kinds of different perks. That's the premium. And then I have Astrology Club, which is people who want to learn astrology more in depth on a regular basis with me, getting training. So that's what I've got going on there. And I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. And also people can book directly with you if they'd like a personal reading. That's right.
That's right.
Okay, so the link will be down below if you'd like to get on Meg's membership or if you'd like to book your own reading with her. And before we start, of course, we did a lot of research for that video, so we would appreciate it a lot if you could subscribe to both of our channels. So mine is Maison Jupiter right here, and you're going to be able to see it also down below because this is a collaboration video. This is a new feature that YouTube just launched, so we're really happy to be testing it. And this is Meg Moonbeam's channel where she put a lot of really interesting video about astrology, so do make sure you are subscribed to her channel as well.
And I just want to say again, Julie, that I'm just so grateful for you, and I'm so grateful for our astrological sisterhood. And with us being in Pluto and Aquarius and entering the age of Aquarius, this is what it's all about. It's all about collaboration, community, fairness. And, you know, we're stepping out of the individuation of needing to do things, everything on our own, into tribe, right? And it's
Yeah.
more powerful when we do things together.
So true. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you, my astrology sister. I love to talk about astrology with you. And I'm sure people are going to be pleased to see this video because it's been a while since we have done our last video together, and it was in totally different circumstances. And now I feel like we're more maybe free to say what we have to say. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but
Yes.
super grateful.
Mhm.
Let's start to talk about the year ahead. Meg, you wanted to touch upon this Mercury, well, the 3 Mercury retrogrades that we're going to have.
Yeah, just to lightly touch on it, I think it's really interesting. We always have Mercury retrogrades every year throughout the year. Of course, Mercury is the fastest moving heavenly body in our solar system around the sun. And all the Mercury retrogrades this year are going to be in water signs. How
Mm.
interesting is that? So from February 26th to March 20th in Pisces, which is actually Mercury's detriment sign. So that's a little bit of a more wonky, challenging Mercury retrograde. And then from June 29th to July 23rd in Cancer, and October 24th to November 13th in Scorpio, which is really interesting because we just went through this past November. I don't know if it was October as well, Julie. It was in November too.
I'm
November.
so
No,
bad with dates.
it was all November. It was from November 9th to I think 29th,
Yeah, you're
Mercury
right.
retrograde in Scorpio. So it's interesting that we're having double on that. And I actually like that we're having the Mercury retrogrades in water signs because there's so much, as you said earlier, air and fire starting in this new Gregorian year. And the water we need the water element. So when we have these Mercury retrogrades, they're invitations for us, yes, always to review and reflect on those Mercury ruled areas of life. But I feel, Julie, these are going to be very important times of processing our feelings with the rapid changes that are going to be happening, times of rest, healing, reflection, and integration of what is going on. Because I think we're going to be talking about how there's going to be a lot of changes this year. So I really feel these are Mercury retrogrades. Yes, it's always a time things can be kind of wonky and weird, and we got to double check everything, right? But they're actually invitations for us to go deep and integrate what's going on. That's what I'm feeling from it. What do you feel from it?
Super interesting that you say that because like when we have so much air and fire, then things get to go like so much faster, and like you don't even have a chance to integrate emotionally what is going on. You're just like almost like in survival mode. So I think you put it up perfectly together that it's going to be a period of maybe integration, emotional how do I want to put that, emotional questioning, even of like what are you feeling, introspection, which is going to be needed in order to move forward at the speed that the universe wants us to move forward this year.
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Exactly.
yeah, and it's interesting too, like I just noticed that the second eclipse that I'm just about to talk about, the first eclipse season, the second eclipse that we're going to have on March 3rd is going to be during Mercury retrograde, and it's an eclipse in Virgo, so the ruler will be retrograde. So that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah,
Um,
and can I just say, Julie, I think we're both gonna be talking about the retrogrades throughout the year and keeping you guys informed on that, but just to mention that retrograde, February 26th to March 20th, that's gonna be a really wonky one. You guys need to be mindful of because February is gonna be super intense. We're gonna be talking about that. Um, I feel like that Mercury retrograde in Pisces is gonna kinda be this trippy time where we're very confused and sensitive after whatever comes up in February, and it's gonna be a time to really, take care of yourself, your loved ones. It's probably gonna feel confusing and super trippy for sure, that time period.
okay, so do not plan important stuff, important changes if you can, of course, during that time. And I'm sure Meg, you'll put up probably some more videos about that. So now
Yeah.
let's talk about, and just before we move forward, I noticed that all of the highlights of the astrology that we put together are until August. So it's like everything seems to be like the big changes, the big transits seem to be happening between February and August. So it's going to be quite intense.
Yes. It's a
Let's
lot.
look at, yeah. So next thing we wanted to touch upon is the first eclipse season that we're going to have on February 17. And then on 2 weeks later, March 3rd, we're going to have the other eclipse. So the first one, new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius, is going to be at 28-degree, right on my descendant. Yay!
Oh, really? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
So the first one is on my descendant and the second one is on my sun. So yay. Yeah, I'll keep you guys posted about what happens. But in a nutshell, the first one is in a total solar eclipse, and it's not going to be visible for most humans unless you live in Antarctica. Let me share it with you. So this is going to be, no, yeah, the first one. So February 17 eclipse. So as you can see, there's not a lot that can be seen visually, but still we're going to feel it a lot. And this is the second one on March 3rd, which is a full moon total lunar eclipse in Virgo. And this one, as you can see, a lot of us are going to be able to see it either partially or entirely.
Wow.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Mhm.
So the first one is going to be February 17, important eclipse because it's going to be the first one of the Aquarius Leo axis. And later this year in July, we're going to have the nodes also shift into that axis, but still this kind of preps us up for this big this series, I would say, of big changes that we're going to feel collectively, but also personally. So this is the very first eclipse in that axis of signs, and it's in the sign of Aquarius. And it's interesting in the intro that you were talking about how we're kind of prepping for the future. So I feel like this is exactly when this starts, when we're starting to build for the future. We're building from the ground up. We're going to feel a quickening of energy. And this new moon solar eclipse also coincides with the Chinese New Year. And with that, it's going to be the start of the fire horse year. So and the fire horse is all about movement. It's all about moving forward. Aquarius is about the future. It's about thinking outside the box. So we're going to be preparing the ground for this quickening of energy that we're going to feel throughout 2026. I feel also we're going to probably get a glimpse of the future that is waiting for us. It's also a very good eclipse to be starting something that will propel us forward. And yeah, I think like starting this fire horse year, it's a really good eclipse to be taking action, daring also to take risks. Aquarius is also the archetype of wanting to think outside the box, take risks. And at the same time, we have Venus conjunct the North Node. So there could also be changes in relationships, partnerships, financial situation. But whatever happens, it brings us to kind of the next evolutionary chapter of our lives. So it's going to propel us forward in our evolution. And also, of course, who says Aquarius says rebellion, and we're going to have a lot of this Aquarian energy all throughout the year. Get ready for that. And I think the most important aspect of that eclipse is that the sun and the moon are together because it's a new moon solar eclipse, squaring almost exactly Uranus, which is also the ruler of Aquarius. So do expect surprises, big shifts, unexpected changes. So things could really shift in a big way. And because it's an eclipse, it's also like the universe plays a big role. The karma also plays a big role. And we can never be sure what's going to happen, but for sure it's going to be surprising. So get ready for this one. And then in a nutshell, the second one on March 3rd, 2 weeks later, is kind of this big closing out energy because it's going to be the last eclipse in Virgo while the South Node is still in the sign of Virgo. And this is a South Node eclipse, so it allows us to release, to detox something, to purify a situation in our lives. And we're going to have a lot of planets in Pisces to finish this big monumental cycle before the spring equinox. So this is kind of like clean your house, clear your body, detox, purify anything that you feel is lingering as far as energy in your life. Also, it could be a really good eclipse to let go of any illnesses, imbalances within your physical body, Virgo. And to really make sure you put your body, mind, spirit in balance and purify it. So I think this is going to be a very interesting eclipse. Certainly not the type that will propel us forward like the other one. It's more of a like, take some time, do some introspection, take the time to really clear things. Mercury will be retrograde, let go of past problems, resolve past issues, that kind of stuff. But this is all happening in order for us to be ready for what's to come.
Yep.
um, yep. Anything you wanted to add to that, Meg?
I can't believe the astrology of February and March. There is so much going on in those 2 months that I am really looking forward to the shocking things that are gonna play out. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah, and talking about shocking, you wanted to talk about this one.
Oh my god. This is the big daddy, I think. This, Saturn-Neptune conjunction, I mean, once in a not just a lifetime or a generation, I mean, a whole era. This is like an aspect of a whole era because as you know, Julie, we haven't had Saturn and Neptune conjunct at 0 degrees of Aries, you guys, the first degree in the first sign for over 6,000 years. I
Wow.
mean, wow, that's a really big deal. And it's interesting how astrology, it's all these cycles, right? And there's some things that come quite often, like Mercury retrogrades come quite often. And then there's certain aspects, especially if it's a greater grand conjunction of two outer planets on the world axis. I mean, this is so rare. It's crazy, unprecedented, a little bit freaky. Okay, Julie and I, we were talking about this on the phone the other day because Saturn is a malefic. Neptune is, would you consider, Julie, Neptune a malefic or like a light malefic? I like to call Neptune a light
Yeah, I
malefic.
guess, but yeah,
Yeah,
I think since we're still in the 3D, I think it brings up a lot more, let's say, negative stuff
that's
than
right.
positive for most
Yeah,
people, let's just say.
for sure.
I've
Totally.
had
So,
Neptune square my Neptune for quite a few years, so I'm getting out of that. Yay.
oh my God. Yay,
Yeah.
thank goodness. Yeah. So it's intense. So I'll get into that. But I just want to preface this by saying, thank God that we have Pluto and Uranus, two of the other outer planets, in positive aspect to
Yeah.
Saturn and Neptune at the time of this conjunction. I feel like this is actually going to uplift it. Not that it's going to be a total piece of cake. Okay. Where as astrologers, it's our duty to be completely honest with you guys, but we're going to get more of the positive manifestation and I think expression of this going into the long term also, because Saturn rules the long term and time. So some of the things that this aspect is going to bring up, not just in February and March when they're in a very strong conjunction, it's exact on February 20th, but over time as well, we're going to see the effects of this. So Saturn and Neptune, this is a total dissolving, Neptune dissolving of our systems and structures of life, Saturn. And we're talking at the very foundational levels because it's 0 degrees, the first degree in Aries. So I'm looking at, I don't know about you, Julie, but I'm looking at every aspect of life, every structure, every area, in particular areas, of course, that are Aries ruled that have to do with masculine side, military, leadership, all that Aries stuff, but total dissolving of things from that old matrix world to make way to set up the new systems.
Whoa, that's well said. Yeah, that's interesting. I was also thinking about it more on a personal level because I've seen
Right.
like so many Pisces delusions in the past months and years. And I feel like it's going to be a rude awakening for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Personally, both personally and collectively, because of course, being on the world axis, it's going to change a lot of things in our structures, in our governments, and all of that. But also, like, I feel like personally, a lot of people are going to have rude awakenings.
Such a good point. I love that you just brought it back to that personal level because it's totally true. And you know what? Sometimes, and I'm a moon in Capricorn with the Capricorn stellium. Okay. Sometimes we need granddaddy Saturn to come in and give us a little bit of a kick in the butt if we're
Yep.
totally like in an illusion or out of alignment or something. So I really feel like it's going to be different person to person, group to group, depending on if you have done self development and work on yourself. Not that you're better than other people by any means if you have, but people who really haven't taken a look at themselves or done any self reflection while we've had Neptune in Pisces since 2011 wow, this is going to be a big shock, as you said, Julie, of dissolving of illusions and lies personally and collectively. And it's interesting too that Aries rules identity, right?
Mm.
So this Saturn Neptune conjunction, Saturn is about challenge. After all, Neptune is dissolving. So this is an identity crisis point.
Oof.
I feel like huge things happening in February, whether it's geopolitically or world events, that it's making us question what we identify with on foundational levels, maybe even political party wise, maybe even when it comes to countries we want to live in, groups we want to be associated with. So it's a huge transformation of ourselves and the whole collective, huge changes to governments. Saturn rules governments, powerful people, laws and orders. And also Neptune is the health side of life and healthcare. So Granddaddy Saturn going to bring in some reality checks about things we've done health-wise for the whole past Neptune cycle, right? Could possibly be Saturn-Neptune conjunction. Sometimes we can see health crises, but again, I feel like we are getting a higher expression with, thank God, Pluto is in positive aspect in Uranus. I feel like if they weren't in positive aspect, this could actually be quite scary.
You're so right. Um, and plus, I wanted to say something. Do you feel like because Neptune has been associated with like communism in the past or like
Mm,
more of the left, if we look at the political scale, let's say let's say social kind of laws or tendencies, socialists rather. And with Saturn being like the laws, the governments, and 0 degree Aries, the creation degree, do you feel like it's going to be used as of like trying to put us even more in a control system towards the left? Like, what do you feel about that?
that's such a good point. I think definitely the darker forces are going to try to do that through ways of fear. But it's really interesting that we are in Pluto and Aquarius right now. Pluto will be out of bounds this year. Pluto is going back out of bounds on the day of the August 12th eclipse in Leo, which is
Ooh.
crazy when you think about it, and is going to be out of bounds for, I think it's 10 years, if I'm remembering correctly, but it's going to be strongest out of bounds this year. And for those of you guys who don't know, when a planet is out of bounds, it's like wild, it's crazy, it's unpredictable, it's very Aquarian energy.
Mhm.
And we've already got Aquarius. So we've got Pluto in Aquarius. We've got Pluto and Aquarius out of bounds. We've got the dispositor of Pluto and Aquarius, Uranus, going into Gemini, out of fall position in Taurus on April 25th. Why I'm bringing this up is because Aquarius rules freedom and revolution,
Yep.
right? So that influence is so strong in 2026 that, yes, I think there will be forces trying to bring in like a communism, but I don't see this working in the long term.
Same. Yeah, you're so right. Like this is if there's a year where we can pinpoint that there's going to be a lot of people rebelling, it's 2026.
Yes.
Right? Woof.
Woo.
Uh, okay. And yes, of course, like Aries is also our physical bodies, like you mentioned, also Neptune being a health planet. So it's also a time, I guess, to be even more mindful of what we consume, our
Yeah.
diet, of let's say being also mindful of our energy level, of our boundaries, which is
Mm.
also Saturn. What do you think about like on a personal health level? What do you think could happen with that?
Oh my God. Well, it's I was thinking about this before we went live. Aries rules the head in medical astrology, right? Also the blood, also other things. But it's interesting that we're having this Saturn Neptune conjunction when it's exact in Aries, which is the head. Uranus is going to be conjunct Algol.
Ooh.
No, Uranus is conjunct Algol right now, right? As
Right
we're
now,
talking.
yeah, it's at like 27, I think, or
Right. So I don't think he's going back to 20. I think he's not going back to 26, but he's only a degree off of Algol. And
Mm.
for those of you guys who don't know, Algol is the demon star in the fixed stars, right? And rules people losing their heads, whether that's physically or metaphorically, right? So there's a very big theme symbolically and also in the medical astrology of the head and the blood and the neck. So I
Mm.
feel like those are really important areas to focus on. Also the nervous system with all the Aquarius going on, but like I'm hearing spirits say now, where is your head at? There's
Oh,
all kinds of physical things we can do, drinking good water, eating good food, doing like all those things are good. Let's definitely do those things because it is a very big year in terms of the medical astrology. But also checking like, where's your head at? Are you in a positive mental space? Are you not in a good space? Do you need to maybe do some sort of therapeutic work? What can you do to keep your head on straight, to be able to think clearly? Because the light side of Aries, when people are really in the light expression of Aries, they're amazing at problem solving and doing and thinking quick and using their mind in really good ways,
yeah.
right? So I feel like that's going to be really important.
Ooh, such a good point. And talking about Aries, April is going to be a lot about Aries since we're going to have a 7-planet stellium in Aries. So it's going to be the peak of it is going to be between April 15 and 20th, which peaks with the Aries new moon on the 17th of April. And look at the chart. I hope I have it here. Look at the chart.
Oh
So this is like all basically like every planet in the solar system is basically in Aries. I'm half exaggerating, but as you can see, there's not a lot left in other signs. And poor babies that are going to be born, not poor babies, but they're going to be very intense, those babies.
I didn't even think about that. That is so true. Wow.
They're going to be very, very driven, very, very Aries, maybe stubborn also. So this is what we're going to get between the 15th and the 20th of April. So as you can see, we can really use this energy, of course, for the greatest good of humanity, for our highest good, because Aries is all about pioneering, building new foundations, taking action, being active. So it's a really good moment in time in April, especially the beginning of it, to be building new foundations, starting new projects, having new beginning, exploring uncharted territories, doing something that you've never done before. Maybe you were scared of it, but now it's like the universe is like conspiring together in order for you to give you a big push in the direction of what you'd like to manifest. And of course, it's after Neptune and Saturn have entered Aries, so they're part of the big party here of like kind of manifesting into reality your dreams, your downloads, yeah, materializing your dream. I said that if you have like a long awaited project that you were wanting to, let's say, materialize, this is certainly a really good period of time, especially at the new moon in Aries on the 17th of April. The not so nice stuff about it is that, of course, Aries is also connected with wars. So there could be conflicts erupting in the world. There could also be conflicts erupting in our personal lives. This kind of escalation of tension, anger that we can see like coming from people, also leaders in the world. There could be also unresolved issues that are coming to light, and you can feel like the anger, the frustration, and within also the physical body, which is Aries. So we can have like too much fire, inflammation, even accidents, cuts, issues with blood circulation, which is also Aries. So just watch out for any kind of repressed angers, because whenever we have strong energy in Aries, there's kind of this anger or frustration, this fire that wants to come out. And we're in a fire year also in Chinese astrology. So it's a really good time to be also finding a creative outlet or a sport active outlet in order to let it out in a very healthy way and not let it out on, let's say, someone else. Um, and also I wanted to touch on the other very important let's say, astrology aspect that we have on April 25th, which is Uranus entering Gemini. So we had a little preview of that within last year, 2025. But now is like the full-on entry of Uranus in the sign of Gemini, and we're going to have that until 2033. So I think we both made videos on that, but in a nutshell, it's going to be, from what I'm feeling at least, like Uranus energy of revolution on steroids, because Gemini is also a fellow air sign. And the ruler of Gemini is Mercury, and Uranus is like the higher octave of Mercury. So we're gonna have like air and air coming together, wanting to speed up everything, wanting change, wanting revolution in a lot of different, let's say, spheres of our lives. So communication is Gemini, so revolutionary changes in communication and technology. Education, also Gemini, and transportation. So there could be a lot of very positive new technological advancements coming up for us, allowing us to travel even faster, cheaper. But also I feel like we're going to feel like a speeding up of everything, of time itself, but also of technology. And like, if you're like me, there, like, you might not be up to date with every single software update that they make on these on these telephones nowadays. And I feel like those updates are going to come even faster. And it's like, I think we're gonna have to update, making sure we're updated and we're keeping ourselves, let's say, adapted to every single change that there's going to be. And I think there's going to be lots of opportunities for people who will see like new trends forming, whether in social media, which is also Gemini ruled, Uranus ruled, technology, even, let's say, who knows, new AI developments. So for everybody who is, smart enough to be kind of seeing new patterns, new trends forming, there's going to be lots of opportunities for those people. But you have to adapt really quickly with your business, with your projects, with anything that you're doing, the information that you're putting out there. And what did I want to say here? Also, oh yeah, I saw a post. I guess I didn't put it on my slide deck, but I'd like to share it with you guys if you don't mind, because it reminded me of Uranus and Gemini so much.
Oh
Okay,
my
here we
God.
go. So quickly, I saw that, and it says the man who created Twitter walked away and is now building communication without Wi-Fi or SIM cards. And this could be a future with no chance of surveillance. Okay, watch this. He said the future of communication is in towers and data plans, but direct device-to-device connections. Okay, this is crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah, like usually I would have like swiped to another post, but I was like, okay, this is Uranus and Gemini. The network works on a node-to-node principle. Smartphones connect straight to each other, forming a living chain. So they call this like a mesh type of connection. So you don't connect to a tower, but you connect to another phone. And this is a totally decentralized way of using technology and internet.
Holy crap. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I was thinking about like, okay, this is kind of where we're going with that Uranus and Gemini sort of thing, because Uranus is like decentralized. Gemini is, yes, small groups, people, Uranus is communities. But I feel like this is going to be one of the ways that we can escape like further technological control, is going to be by these new technological advancements that allow us to be not surveilled, not control, and not centralized.
That
And
is
last,
so exciting. Sorry to interrupt. That is like
crazy, right?
extremely exciting. Wow.
Yeah, I am excited because, of course, as with anything, there could be, let's say, a path where it's a lot more, let's say, high frequency and positive, and there's another path where, of course, the elites or dark people in places of power could use it to our detriment. So, but there's both at the same time, and I think also it's important to talk about both.
Mm.
And last thing I wanted to say is that last time we had this transit was in 1941, 1949. So we had the Second World War. We had the beginning of the Cold War. So a lot of people or astrologers rather, are talking about Uranus and Gemini being like a sign of there could be wars. Um, Although this is a possibility, of course, because also Gemini rules neighbors. So it could be like a conflict between neighbor countries or neighbor provinces or whatever.
Mhm.
This is a possibilities, but also I feel like this also could materialize as change of borders, because Uranus likes to separate, to cut, to change. And Gemini is also kind of an air sign. So it's a connection sign. So I think this is, and it rules like neighbors. So it could be also the case. But also, I said last thing, but this is the real last thing I want to say about this. Big changes on in media and social media for sure.
Wow.
So yeah, I feel like we're gonna have new social media coming in. This is also what Sophie was seeing with the cards. Uranus and Gemini is like for sure there are going to be new ways to share information. That's for sure. And also, I feel like short form content is going to probably be more popular. Gemini has a very short attention span. So I feel like this is also a blessing and a curse because, of course, like younger people get, you know, accustomed to lower their attention span. So this also could create other problems. But this is kind of where we're going with Uranus and Gemini. What do you think about that, Meg?
You just blew my mind, Julie, with all of that. Oh my God. I totally agree with you. And okay, I'm a Taurus rising. I cannot wait for Uranus to get out of Taurus because that has been wow for the Tauruses since 2018. And I also just had a realization, just download while you were speaking there, around Uranus rules our higher consciousness, right?
Hmm.
And also the awake community. And if you think about it, since 2018 to 2024, 2025, 2026, during this transit, it's been kind of weird. Uranus, weird in the awake community and not very like grounded. Taurus, there's been a challenge in the grounding and what's actually foundational and who's the real deal, what's real, what's not real. People that are saying they're the real deal, which are actually like the complete opposite, right?
Hmm.
And it feels like I just got this sense that when Uranus goes into Gemini, it's going to be very clear who's actually of a high vibration, who's actually doing the work, what is actually in alignment for the awake community. Like it's going to create a shift around that.
So interesting. And yeah, for sure, like Uranus is a lot more comfortable in Gemini than it is
Mm.
in Taurus and Earth sign. It's like, what?
Oh my
Uh,
God.
but Uranus moving in Gemini, it's like much more like aligned, like with air and connection and like feeling the energy, as you're saying. So I guess like it makes sense with also being able to discern the energy of people you're watching, feeling, even though it's online. I feel
Right.
like, yeah, this is interesting. I love when
Yeah. And
you
also,
share downloads.
yeah, also in person too. Because I've had that experience ever since 2018. Like sometimes you'll meet somebody in person at an event or a teacher or a group, and you think, oh, this is cool. And then you come to realize there might be something weird going on, right? Like it's been very touch and go, at least from my experience.
For sure. And like Uranus is definitely not working at its best in the sign of Taurus because Taurus likes to take its time. It's like a slow kind of burner sign. And Uranus is like, yeah. So it's like you're going too fast with connections or things or projects. Whereas like Taurus really wants to be grounded, have good foundations before it moves forward. So it's like very conflictual.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, our next one. I'm trying to find my slide here. Here we go. Let's talk about this one, Meg.
Woohoo! I'm so excited for this one. Oh my
Me
God.
too.
And for you with your Leo rising.
Yes, my
How
dear. It's gonna take a while to get to my ascendant, but
yeah.
still.
Still, you're gonna have a year of Jupiter in your sign, which is awesome. So this is like exactly what we need going into 2026. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, higher learning, luck, abundance, all the higher things that it rules in the sign of Leo, which is fun and play and creativity and actually having some fun. Okay, we have been lacking the energy of fun and just overall like positive vibes. It feels like for a very long time. I can't even remember, Julie, the last time that I felt like things collectively just felt good and kind of fun. For me, I don't think it's felt like that since maybe the 2010s.
Yeah, probably.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
So I feel like Jupiter going into Leo, not only is it very positive for our Leos and our fire signs and air signs, woo, that it's going to make positive aspects too, but this is needed for the whole collective. This is bringing positivity, fun, play, celebration as well. The start of this transit, it's interesting, might not feel like super light right away because we are going to be having Jupiter square Chiron and Jupiter in an opposition to Pluto, which is important to note. But we do have really positive aspects, and that cradle starting, which we're going to be talking about going into July with all the outer planets. But I feel like once we go into August, this is where we'll really feel the Jupiter and Leo like, woohoo, we can feel it. Things just getting lighter. Finally, things getting lighter for sure.
Yeah.
So, very, very positive. It is interesting, though, that the South Node will be in Leo starting when the nodes do their shift, right? So, it's like we've got
True.
this Jupiter in Leo, woohoo, very positive. We're having an eclipse in Leo this year, solar eclipse, which there's a lot of positive that can come with that too. But also the South Node is there in Leo. So, we're releasing what no longer serves from that shadow side of Leo, which Leo in the shadow side can have a lot to do with that um, kind of individuation, needing to be successful on your own, like fame, celebrity, ego, all those kind of Leo shadow aspects. We're letting go. We're going through a very big cleansing of those areas, right? But I feel like actually really excited with Jupiter and the South Node in Leo at the same time, particularly, not sure if you've seen this yet, Julie, but from October 2026 to July 2027, the South Node will be on and off in a conjunction to Jupiter,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I think we could see, I don't know if we can say this on YouTube, but the end of like a royal family.
Oh, so true. So true.
Or one of those, Leo is the royalty, the famous, uh,
Politicians.
politicians, those leaders. So this is just another transit on top of all the other transits going down, showing these people in powerful positions. Because if we think about it, Leo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Aries, like these are the signs that rule powerful people or powerful positions or leadership, right? There's a lot of transits happening in these signs this year, right?
Yeah.
So it's we're letting go of these power structures and powerful people, the ones that are there that don't serve the collective and that have maybe been here for a very long time because the South Node is very karmic, right? It can be things we've dealt with for a very long time on the soul level. So I think there's going to be huge changes to celebrity. What is a celebrity? Royalty. What is royalty? That's going to be very, very interesting.
Uh,
And of course, Jupiter in Leo brings expansion, spiritual growth, and blessings and opportunities in all the Leo ruled areas of life. As I said, fun, children, teenagers, creativity, entertainment, leadership, love, and romance. Woohoo! So, very good for doing some dating and romance. And also being confident in our gifts and talents. Jupiter in Leo is going to activate us to be for you and I, Julie, going to the next level of being astrologers and the artistries that we do, for everybody being even more confident in our gifts and talents and showcasing those out to the world. So I'm really excited about this transit. And
oh, this is
also,
so
like,
cool.
check where you have Leo in your chart, the house where you have Leo, because that's going to be an area that's going to be really uplifted during this time.
And yeah, you're a singer too, so you're in the Leo realm of artistry. I'm a dancer, she's a singer, so I think it's going to also elevate like the quality of artistry that we're like ourselves, but also everybody that's going to bring to the public, right? And what I love about also Jupiter conjunct South Node is that I think we're going to be inspired to create, but very much in alignment with our values, with our
Right.
spirituality. Jupiter is also this planet of morality, right? So knowing right from wrong. And like from this point on, I think it's going to favor a lot of artists, creators that are really much in line with their values,
Yeah.
walking the talk as far as spiritual, let's say, values and information. So I think it's going to weed off a lot of a lot of people and corporations even on a big scale. So I love that.
Yeah, and
Wow.
if you think about it, that's one of the greatest joys in life, the creative arts, all of the
Yeah.
creative arts, whether it's dancing or music or filmmaking, whatever it is. This is one of the things that brings us the most joy. And this is one of the areas that's been the most corrupted and the
Mm.
darkest. If you think about all the different systems, this is one of the systems that's been the most screwed up in modern times.
So true. And like, it's so sad because also it's connected with the goddess. It's like the goddess wants to express herself also in artistic ways, not just there's yes spirituality because she's psychic, but also she's an artist. So it's been hard for people who've been trying to live out of their art
Yeah.
and do it in the right way, not sell their soul to, corrupt institutions. Same with spirituality also. So I feel like there's going to be a big cleanse of that. I don't know why.
Yep.
But I'm looking forward to that. And okay, so yeah, you did say at the beginning of Jupiter entering Leo, so that's going to be on June 30th. It's going to be a little bit harsh, but Jupiter is
Yep.
going to stay there for about a year, right?
Yep.
So about a year, but as it begins, it's going to square Chiron. And we already kind of had that last year. So it was strongest from September to, we're still in the orb of that Jupiter square Chiron until the end of January. And then it's going to be back, but in new signs in June, July of 2026. And now Jupiter will be in Leo, Chiron will be in Taurus. So that's going to be a whole other ball game. First of all, can I ask you, like, what have you been feeling so far of that Jupiter square Chiron?
Oh my god. Well, I know I am never going to underestimate Chiron again. I have to be completely
Mm,
honest and admit that I kind of underestimated Chiron's influence.
yeah, me
And then
too.
this past holiday season, I told Julie this already, I have my Mars 22 degrees of Cancer. I had the Jupiter Chiron square was exactly on my Mars, and
Ooh.
it was the weirdest holiday season of my life. And I got sick, Mars, health, it was just like, la, 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 so many different things. So I feel like this has been teaching me, do not underestimate. Chiron is a very big deal. And this Jupiter square Chiron, it's wherever it's activating in our charts, bringing up very sensitive wounds and triggers that need to come to the surface and need to be worked with, for sure.
Yeah, so true. And especially if you have like planets earlier degrees of the fixed signs. So especially for June and July, because Jupiter will be at 0 degree Leo,
Right.
Chiron and Taurus. So if you have Taurus, Leo, um, Aquarius, I'm missing one. Leo, I said Leo already.
Yep. Taurus,
Scorpio.
Scorpio, Leo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. If you have planets there, early signs, you're going to feel that as Meg did. And since like Jupiter and Chiron together are interesting, especially in a square, so it's like a long sort of forming aspect. But when they change sign in June, July of 2026, I feel like it's going to be a lot about liberating our voice because Taurus
Mm.
rules the throat chakra, the neck, and Chiron is the healer. And also, Jupiter will be in Leo, the sign of self expression. Jupiter expands that. So, Jupiter really wants us to be ready to be sharing whatever message we have to share, to be expressing ourselves, to be creating. So, this aspect happens at the very beginning of Jupiter in Leo because I feel like the universe wants us to really clear any blockage, any kind of frequency that is still messing with our true divine expression, our true creative expression.
Mhm.
So there could be struggles that come out with expressing our voice, things that we are now mindful that we need to heal. Also, there could be a lot of, let's say, this imposter syndrome that comes up that we have to heal, deal with, at least be conscious of so we can start healing it. Stage fright, because Jupiter in Leo really wants us to be sharing our message, our art, our creations. So there could be a lot of triggers at the beginning of Jupiter entering Leo while it's squaring Chiron that we don't feel good enough, we don't feel worthy enough, we don't feel that we have a strong enough message to share, we don't have enough talent in order to be there center stage, lack of self-esteem. So that's going to be, I feel like, the biggest triggers of that Jupiter square Chiron, especially in the summer of 2026. And I feel like our self-worth is going to probably be tested, as it was also at the fall of 2025, while we had like the first, let's say, part of this Jupiter square Chiron. Now, like, life is going to put us in situations where we're like, we don't have a choice but to be out there, center stage, and to confront those fears. And yes, if you're listening to this video, you are good enough. And it's like it reminds me like a personal story of like when I was younger, I was terrified of public speaking, terrified. Okay, but like life put me through situations where like sometimes I was, let's say, doing dance shows or like public appearances as a cheerleader, and they would put me on a stage with a mic in my hands in front of like hundreds of people, and they were like, introduce yourself, talk about what you're going to present. Like, I wasn't trained to do that. I was trained to be a dancer. So I was absolutely terrified, but thanks to those experiences, I'm now able to make this video with Meg. So
Mm.
I feel like this is also going to be something similar that happens in the summer, but whatever comes up, like, just know that you're ready for it. Yeah, this is what I have for Jupiter square Chiron. Anything you want to add to that, Meg?
Wow, it's interesting too that when that happens July 1st, they're both at 0 degrees, critical degrees, and that's the birthday of Canada.
That's so true.
So Canada's next birthday is gonna have that Jupiter square Chiron. The
Oof.
USA's next birthday is gonna be on the day of a Mars conjunct Uranus
Oof. Okay, explosive years.
for both of
Year,
those countries.
singular.
Yeah, yeah, during Mercury retrograde in Cancer.
Oof.
So I
Okay.
think a lot going on for both of the countries, maybe the relationship of the country to each other.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, that's gonna be super, like, kind of uncomfortable for Canada. There's gonna be major triggers coming out. And that's interesting what you said about the truths being spoken, people speaking their
Mm.
truth, feeling more comfortable to do that.
So true. And also Jupiter and Leo's politicians. We're gonna have the South Node move there. So Chiron could also be health issues. So not to wish any ill upon nobody, but just saying that there could be possibilities regarding that, especially for Canada and US
Maybe.
politicians.
Yeah.
And also, like, not cool, but there could also be fertility issues because Jupiter will be in Leo, the South Node will be there. And I heard someone else, I can't remember what video I was watching because I watched so many on YouTube on different topics, but someone was talking about, oh, there could be a baby boom in 2026. And actually, I was looking at the astrology and I was like, I think it's going to be quite the contrary. What do you think, Meg, about that?
I think it's the contrary, definitely. Yeah,
Because, yeah,
because
Jupiter's in Leo, but
yeah, and also Pluto is in Aquarius in an opposition to the Leo placements, and Pluto in Aquarius is not very known in a good way for fertility.
yeah, and plus
So,
this square to Chiron, it's like a lot of fertility issues could be coming up.
right.
Um, there could be less people being able to, yeah, to have children, very sadly.
Yeah,
Wow.
truths being revealed about the babies that are being born, maybe toxins that they might have accumulated, like, babies
Mm,
are being born, it's not like a baby boom or anything like that, but there's things coming out of, okay, how the babies are, like, health-wise when they come
so
out.
true, so true. The health of like the young ones.
Right.
So true. So let's hope this is all happening in order for us to be more mindful and to make better decisions about that.
Mhm.
Okay, the next one we wanna talk about, I am so excited about it. I can't wait for you to talk about the cradle in July.
Yay! Oh my so this is I couldn't believe, Julie, when I was preparing, like, months ago, looking at 2026, as astrologers do, we're always looking ahead, and I looked at July, and I was like, "What is going on?" we've got multiple, and this is a theme throughout the year too, multiple positive aspects with the outer planets. So you guys, even though there's a lot of really big shifts, I think there's going to be some really big shocks, some challenges that we have to go through, particularly in the beginning of the year, as we've been talking about. These positive aspects with these outer planets, and in particular the cradle, this is an aspect pattern that's going to be happening. This is really cool
I have
stuff.
a little
Oh,
chart here, so I
awesome.
don't know if you guys can see, but
Yay, amazing. Yeah, so Uranus sextile Neptune, July 15th, Uranus trine Pluto, July 18th, Jupiter trine Neptune and Jupiter opposite Pluto on the same day, July 20th, Jupiter sextile Uranus, July 21st, Neptune sextile Pluto, July 25th. We didn't even talk about yet. Saturn is going to be sextile Pluto in March. The outer planets, you guys, are very spiritual. I mean, everything in life is spiritual, but the outer planets rule different aspects of spirituality, right? Pluto is the dark night of the soul. Pluto is the shadow. Pluto is this shamanic journey and the portals between life and death. Neptune is the spirit world. Uranus is our higher consciousness and astrology and spiritual science. Jupiter is higher learning. I mean, they're all very spiritual. So for all of the spiritual guides, it's interesting, I'm feeling guided to say guides to be in this cradle. This is a huge point of divine support, fate, beyond auspicious. So whatever is going on in July, you need to pay attention big time. And particularly if you have any placements in the fire or air signs, this is going to be at 4 degrees exact. Is it July 20th, Julie, when the exact cradle is? I think that's around July 20th. They're all at 4 degrees.
yeah, they all make aspects between the 15th and the 25th. Why do we have balloons?
I don't know. Look, it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Let me fix my camera. Oh my God, that's the universe.
Yeah, from the 15th to the 25th, these are all the exact aspects. But when you were just describing it, I got chills. Like, I feel like you're so on point with the way you're describing it, with like the spiritual guides and like the support that we're getting.
That's what they are. I mean, that is how I look at them. They are like our planetary higher spiritual guides. And of course, Mercury and Venus and the moon, they all rule things too. But these are the ones that they're about the far away spiritual realms. These are the farthest away planets from us. They're the higher realms. And so this is huge spiritual protection and activation point. And I don't know if I just said that there because I lost my train of thought for a second, but yeah, if you have anything at 4 degrees of a fire or air sign, you're going to be having this cradle exactly aspecting your placement. Or if you have anything around, like within a strong orb, what would you say, Julie? Like 5 degrees, 3 degrees of 4 degrees?
I would
Fire, air?
say 5 degrees.
I would say 5 degrees too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be very strong. So I think this is an amazing time to move forward with things. Yes, we're in a Mercury retrograde. I think it's until July 20th, but this feels like a huge breakthrough in moving forward, knowing what's in alignment, knowing what's no longer in alignment. And also this whole alignment can bring long-term collective shift because the outer planets are also about our collective, like generational time and shift around with the certain placements that we have: technology, Pluto and Aquarius, Uranus and Gemini, social structures, Neptune and Aries, Saturn and Aries, our ideals, Neptune. This is where we really start to get, I think, a sense of the positive new systems coming in. And we might be getting our footing a little bit. Do you get that sense at all, Julie, when it comes to July, August, like later going on into the second half of the summer?
Yeah, I think like the first part of the year is like setting the stage for like monumental shifts, but positive ones. And then July, I feel like when you were talking, I just got kind of a download. I hope I'm explaining it right, but I feel like the universe is letting us, or our guys rather, or whatever you call like your divine help team, they're helping us, or rather they're letting us like whatever use our free will. And so like some like negative aspect of the world might seem like they're escalating, but I feel like July is going to be this part where it's like, no, we're stepping in order to help, to make sure that we're kind of back on track. And not saying that we're not waiting for no external savior. This is not what I'm saying.
Mm,
But no, no, no. But having that said, I feel like this is when like we're gonna get a lot of light enter um, our realm and a lot of help and to really make the right changes, because I feel like the last part of the year is softer. It's
mm,
like now like we've entered into new earth or a new world, right? I don't know if that
totally.
makes sense.
No, Julie, that actually makes complete sense because if you think about it, everything's really like positive aspects other than that Jupiter opposite Pluto, which is exact on July 20th. So we do have Jupiter opposite Pluto, even though Pluto is in really positive aspects to the other outer planets. Jupiter makes bigger whatever it's an aspect to, and that's an opposition. Right? So I totally agree with you. I think that yeah, there's gonna be things that are trying to draw us back into the dark side, but it's like feels like a divine intervention point or something.
Yeah.
Like something huge is happening, and also those multiple sextiles are like opportunities. What you were just saying there is important, that it's not about a savior. It's not about, "Oh, July is gonna come and everything's just gonna work out for me." No,
Yeah.
you have to act on it.
Uh-huh.
That's also part of 2026. Actually acting on what the heck you wanna do.
Yep. Like the people who are sitting back and they're like, oh, they're playing victimhood and trying for other people to take responsibility. It's over. Like Pisces,
Oh,
the
that's
Pisces era is over. In July, it's over. So the North Node is going to leave Pisces also. So July, the Pisces excuses are over. And I love Pisces people. I'm not talking about personally about Pisces. I'm talking about people who used a lot of denial, disillusion, victimhood mentality, addictions even. So we're getting out of that.
it's it's been all of us, right? Because it's age of Pisces that we've been in for the past over 2,000 years. It's Neptune and Pisces we've been in since 2011, Saturn and Pisces. So we've all just been in this Pisces overload of like, yeah, that's the shadow aspect of Pisces, victimhood,
Yeah,
right?
and
So
with that, I was going to bring this, which is totally on target with what we were saying. So July 26th, the nodes are finally going to switch from Virgo and Pisces to enter Leo and Aquarius. Um, wow. Okay, so the North Node will be in Aquarius with our friend Pluto, not yet making a conjunction, but still they're going to be in the same sign, further pushing the energy for futuristic type of energy, higher frequencies, age of Aquarius. I feel like this is probably like another element that also allows us to think that we're really stepping into the age of Aquarius. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Sophie did pull cards on that. I asked her if we were going to step permanently into the age of Aquarius in 2026, and she did say yes, if I remember correctly. So I believe this is kind of part of what is going to happen. And prior to that, of course, we had the North Node in Pisces. So, and well, now as you're watching this video, probably we still have North Node in Pisces until July, and the South Node is in Virgo. So this is the health axis, and a lot of people have been struggling, are still struggling, maybe with health issues, imbalances within the body, but also Pisces rule mental health. So we've seen a lot of imbalances within that, like anxiety, depression, what's the word? Antidepressant, is that the word?
yeah, antidepressants, yeah.
Thank you. So we had a lot of efforts and mindfulness to add to what's the current state of our body, mind, and spirit balance. And for me personally, I started a therapy in 2025. So I think this is very telling of what was happening with the South Node and North Node in Pisces and Virgo. And a lot of people have been dealing with health issues, surgeries, all of that stuff. But I was saying before the nodes got into the Virgo Pisces axis that this is not just the universe trying to mess with you, it's the universe trying to bring to your attention some things that you really have to look at on a very deep core level. So core wounds that maybe you have to pay attention to, like really dig deeper and find some kind of holistic alignment in order to understand, like, it's not just like a physical problem, it's your body talking to you, wanting to your attention. So this is what we're kind of dealing with until July. And in July, and also, like I was talking about health, but also Virgo and Pisces is work. So employment versus unemployment, which is Pisces. It's also the axis of service. So how do we use our work in order to serve the collective, our life mission? And especially towards the end, I feel like the North Node in Pisces can also turn into more of the darker side of Pisces. So and the good side, of course, of Pisces and the North Node, we've seen spirituality have like a major boost. A lot of people now are like, oh, I'm super spiritual. Like I talk with like random people sometimes, and everybody's spiritual nowadays. So, which is great. So there's really good and there's not so good. There's good in the fact that spirituality became mainstream. Also, a lot of music I feel have been booming with North Node and Pisces, maybe different genres that have been emerging. Also, the idea of like serving the greater good, of like being conscious of your life mission, is also Pisces. But also the negative sides of Pisces are also coming up, especially at the end of the last eclipses that we have with the nodes in Pisces. So those are, like we said, victimhood, escapism. So people trying to not deal with their responsibilities, problems, and finding kind of ways to avoid those. And also, with that being said, spirituality can also be a way to avoid responsibilities and problems and confronting your core wounds. Of course, being known as spiritual bypass. Addictions is a big one. Also, mental health issues and denial, dissolution. So we have to be, of course, mindful and wary of that. And the North Node shows what we are striving for as a collective and what's the next step in our evolutionary journey. And also in, let's say, more ancient astrology, they used to talk about the North Node as not just positive, but also that can also turn into some kind of obsession. So we also have to be conscious of the North Node can turn into some kind of obsession that we're really striving for that, but maybe we don't want to put the effort into, let's say, becoming spiritual or enlightened. So we use, I don't know, like substances or let's say anything could be used with that North Node in Pisces. Trying to find shortcuts is also the North Node. And as of July 26th, the North Node is going to be in Aquarius. So, and the South Node in Leo. So I think this is going to be very interesting. This is going to be for a year and a half. And I feel like the universe will favor the highest good of the collective, of society, of communities, as opposed to, let's say, more selfish type of endeavors, selfish type of motivations. Like you were kind of talking about that a little bit earlier with Jupiter and Leo. And it's like, and you were talking about influencers as well, which is very Leo. And Aquarius as well. Aquarius is the fans, Leo is the influencer. Leo can be also politicians, Aquarius the people. So, and now it's like, it's interesting because the North Node is going to be the power, or let's say the power to discern what is right, what is wrong, is going to be more on the people's sides and not on the leaders. The followers, like you scrolling down your feed, you're going to have the power to choose where do you want to invest your energy. So I think it's going to be a major shift because a lot of those people having a lot of attention, politicians making big decisions, this power could be cut off from them with the South Node, big transition. So I feel the universe is going to favor a lot more the people who are going to, let's say, build projects, businesses, corporations that also are for the greater good, or have a consciousness about groups of people, collectives in mind, not just for like selfish purposes.
Yeah.
We did talk about it too with Jupiter and Leo, but I feel like a lot of politicians could be exiting the stage with as of this summer, July 26th, moving forward. And of course, lots of rebellions. The North Node is in Aquarius for a year and a half. We have Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini. So it's really talking about the power of the people, the power of getting together, groups, collectives, communities, also using social media in a way that is going to make positive change for society, for our world, but also connecting with people. So Aquarius is going to be a big energy in 2026. Connecting with people, finding your soul tribe, finding people that truly feel like you're on the same wavelength, that you have the same kind of, what is it I want to say, values, or like kind of sense of purpose that you have. Let's say, for example, Meg and I, we talk about astrology, but like fundamentally, we also have like a very similar way that I feel like we want to use our knowledge or share our knowledge, because we want to see like good change in the world, and we want to help you guys prepare in the best way possible. So I feel like it's going to really favor the people that are thinking about bigger groups, that have like other people's interests at heart, which is also Aquarius at its best. Social media, we did talk about that. And I just want to end this section by talking about watch out for, because of course the North Node is just not positive stuff. It's also about, as we said, like can become an obsession, can become something we have to watch out for. So watch out for giving too much power to AI. Just be very conscious about like what's the space and use that you use AI for, like not to compete with true humans, true creations, and you know what I mean. So this is a whole other ball game topic, but just sharing that right now. Becoming disconnected, because although Aquarius could be like the power of groups, it can also be like, oh, you don't no longer have like real meetings with friends in your own social media, and you feel even more isolated, and you feel more like disconnected from your heart. So that could also be what is going on here. Dissociated from emotions, becoming more distant, too much in your brain, not so much in your heart. So we still have to find that balance between heart and head, which is Leo Aquarius. And of course, the people in power are going to try to use technology in order to create more control. I say try because I don't think it's going to work, as you said earlier. But like the good side of that transit, I feel it's finding opportunities in new trends. There are going to be lots of new trends, new technologies, new social media. So if you can really hop on quickly, I think you can benefit a lot from that. Finding your tribe, reaching more people with what you have to share with the right tools, and of course, rebelling and making your own rules. Meg, anything you want to add to that?
I can't wait. I feel like this has been, for me, my whole life, just this time period. I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready for us stepping into more freedom, more discernment, taking our power back, supporting each other, right? The tribe. That feels like, I think that's one of the things that is the biggest missing pieces in our modern day, is that we don't have these strong knit communities and tribes. Not that we have to go back to like living in the middle of, nowhere and being in tents. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know what I mean? It's like
And communes. Yeah.
yeah, in communes, we need to be connected. We need to be supporting each other. We need to be with groups that are in alignment, in integrity, like you were talking about earlier with values, Julie.
Yeah.
And Aquarius is very much like that, and is able to see all the perspectives of everything and discern what works and what doesn't work. So, yeah, I think it's great. North Node going into Aquarius. I think South Node in Leo, do you feel like it's gonna be dramatic?
Yeah.
Drama show?
Yeah, not gonna lie, because I feel like they have like very different sort of energy. Leo is very much about like, yeah, like being, like shining, like I see sparkles, people and of course like the bad side of Leo is narcissist people,
Right.
egoist egoistical, is that the word?
Yep, egotistical, yeah.
Thank you. And like ego being narcissistic. So this is like in the South Node is nothing but that, it's like dissolving the ego.
Mhm.
So I think it's going to be a huge mic drop on like the world stage. Like we're gonna see a lot of like anything that no longer works with the South Node that is not, let's say, based in true spirituality is falling with South Node and Leo. Like the egos are falling, the veil is falling.
Yeah, and it makes me think too, that information is gonna spread, and those truths are gonna spread with the North Node in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius. There is no stopping, like, truths coming out, revealings, getting the whole story. It's, needed, very needed.
Yeah. And like just to make a connection between Virgo Pisces when we had well, we're still having the nodes in Virgo Pisces as we speak,
Mhm.
but to transit into Leo and Aquarius, I feel like the universe is like getting us ready to dissolve a lot of old structures, old energies in order to purify ourselves, in order to step into a brand new role of sharing creativity, of like speaking our truth. And it's like we had to go through like a big purification before we were able to um, think about also our societies, our new leaders, right? Leo.
Mhm. Exactly.
Okay, let's talk about our last one that we want to talk about. August, the eclipse is in Meg.
Woo! During partially Leo season, we have and Virgo season, of course, we have this eclipse season with our first eclipse in Leo. Very, very exciting stuff. So on August 12th, we're going to have new moon total solar eclipse in Leo, 20 degrees. That's interesting. Scorpio degree. Hmm, hmm, hmm. And Pluto goes out of bounds again on that exact day of that eclipse, all the way until December 10th, 2026. So we have on and off Pluto out of bounds for the next 10 years, actually going to be strongest this year, which, again, just to share with those of you guys who don't know, when a planet is out of bounds, it's very unpredictable, wild, crazy. It's a very Uranian energy. So, whoa, that's like very interesting. That's happening on the day of that solar eclipse in Leo. And the sun, of course, is at home in Leo, right? So solar eclipse in the sign that the sun loves to be in. This is a very strong and potent energy, right? So Leo new moons are always great times for us to plant seeds when it has to do with our gifts and talents and our confidence, fun, play, romance. Did you want to share something there, Julie?
Sorry, I wanted to wait after you were
No,
talking.
it's okay. Go
It's
ahead.
just the path of visibility of the eclipse in Leo that you were talking about. So interesting that it goes through Spain, right? Directly on Spain.
Ooh.
Anyways, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah, I forgot about that, that it's right through that area of Spain. There, and is that no, I'm thinking 2027. 2027, I think it's 20, yeah, it is 2027. There's going to be an eclipse that is 100% visibility through Luxor, Egypt.
Woo! I think we have to go
Imagine
there,
that.
Meg.
I think we have to do it. Yeah, crazy. Oh my God. The eclipses just keep getting wilder, wilder, and wilder. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think this solar eclipse actually has a lot of positive influence that it's bringing, also a lot of dramatic influence that it's bringing too, since it is the sign that rules drama after all. The sun, as I said, is at home in Leo, and with it being at Scorpio degree, and of course, eclipses can have an effect for the whole next 6 months until the next eclipse season. This is going to be continuation of a lot of secrets revealed, Scorpio, about Leo ruled people. We've been talking about that politicians, celebrities, royal family, yada, 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 all those people, right? So that's just a continuation theme. I think this eclipse is asking us to take a look at how can we be even more connected to our hearts? How can we be even more connected to our soul gifts and talents and being our authentic, fearless selves out into the world? Julie has her Leo rising. You know, everybody that's a Leo sun, moon, or rising or has major Leo placement, they end up, like you were talking about, Julie, stepping into your gifts and actually really being seen for that, right? And we're all being initiated through that with these eclipses entering Leo, particularly this solar eclipse in Leo. So I think it's a really good eclipse to launch something new, start something new that's in alignment from your heart, right? Because the Leo rules the heart. And what you know from your heart level is in alignment with you. And also, the eclipse is interesting, going to be conjunct the Pluto of those born in the Pluto and Leo generation between 25 to 15 degrees, like really, really strong. So if you were
Those are
born,
our boomers, right? Our
that's our
parents.
boomers. Yeah, which there's a lot of you guys out there. So if you're born like in those baby boomer years, or check your birth chart if you have Pluto between around 15 degrees to 25 degrees, you're going to be having that eclipse conjunct your natal Pluto
Oh,
on the same day as Pluto going out of bounds. So this is a very transformational time for you, Pluto and Leo generation. I think huge breakthroughs, huge stepping into soul gifts and talents as well. And I've been really feeling, Julie, and I'd actually like to bring this up with you. I think the Pluto and Leo generation is going to be the first generation en masse that has access to lifespan options, like
mm.
significant extension in lifespan options. Maybe that's actually something that we'll start to see either around this eclipse or within the next 6 months, because Pluto rules, along with Saturn, your lifespan and death.
Wow, that's so true. Well, yeah, I think you're so on point. My mom is 76. So, and I've always said to her, you're going to live very long. And she's also seen a medium that have been telling her the same thing. So I think you're onto something with that.
I feel it. Yeah. So
Mm.
let us know, everybody with Pluto and Leo, what you think about that. So yeah, we've got that solar eclipse in Leo. Anything you want to add to that before we go to the lunar eclipse in Pisces, Julie?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. Yeah, the only thing that popped into my mind while you were talking was that like a lot of us have this fear of being seen. And I feel like this is going to be this whole year. I feel like it's going to be we're going to be working on that to let go of this fear of being seen in whatever and not saying that everybody should be on YouTube, like that's not what I'm saying. But like we all have like I feel like a talent or something we like to do, but yet like we're not ready to share it with the world and we like to stay hidden. It's like, oh, I'm really good at that, but I'd like to just stay behind a rock and nobody knows my name and nobody knows that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And this is what I've been hearing a lot recently within my conversations with friends and stuff. And I feel like this eclipse especially is going to be triggering this fear of being seen with Pluto.
Mm,
That, like, giving us the power to re-empower ourselves with, "No, like, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be in your face. I'm going to be very public about what I have to say, what I have to share." And, yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. Resonates. And then we have, thank goodness for this. Okay, August 28th, our last eclipse in Pisces, our last lunar eclipse in Pisces out of 3 in a row that we've had. Oh my God. So I think after this, that's it for the major Pisces energy. After we're out of the influence of this eclipse, once we go into the next eclipse season going into 2027, we're out of the major Pisces influence.
Oh, so true.
And I feel like we're already getting out of it once Neptune goes into Aries, but this is the last straw, if you will.
Yeah.
So I feel like this lunar eclipse in Pisces, 4 degrees, which is a Cancer degree, Interesting. Also a water influence there. It's like our I'm getting this sense like we're almost like in a hangover from all the Pisces energy, but it's actually going to feel good. It's weird, Julia. That's what I've been feeling with this. It's actually going to feel good because it's this final ending point around August 28th and the 6 months after of what we've been letting go of. And so many of us have been going through these karmic releases and processes. This is really going to be the point where we're done, things are complete, we're starting to move forward, we got the lesson. Neptune is in Aries, we're seeing the clarity now. Saturn is in Aries, we're more grounded as well. So it's a pivotal moment when it comes to karmic undoing and ending of karmic cycles and ties. And also a pivotal moment for Pisces themes, such as healing and our spirituality, creativity, and cleansing, of course. Both of the dispositors are going to be in fire signs. We have Neptune in Aries, we have Jupiter in Leo. So I feel like that's helping us to break through very strong of any stagnation, if there is any, lightening the energy again. And this eclipse is in a square to Uranus. So isn't that interesting that we have an eclipse at the beginning of the year? And they're
The
both
first one
the
and the
first
last.
one and the last one,
Oh,
both in square to Uranus.
so it's like we're not done with the surprises.
That's going to be, I think the whole year is going to be surprise, 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 and particularly around these eclipses, right? And Mercury Cazimi, we have just the day before of this eclipse in Virgo. So it's also bringing clarity, downloads, insights. Virgo, Julie is our Virgo sun astrologer here. It's very grounded. It also brings the details, and it being the opposite sign of Pisces helps us to ground out from the Pisces. So I hope I'm explaining it well, but I feel like even though, okay, it's another lunar eclipse in Pisces, it feels like we're coming for full circle. We're really processing through what we've gone through. I actually like it. What do you think, Julie?
Yeah, I like how you describe it, at least. And I feel like for Virgos and Pisces, it's going to feel like almost like a celebration of like you've completed your transformation. And not just for Sun in Virgo, Sun in Pisces, but for people who have like major placements in Virgo and Pisces. Um, wow, what a period it was, right? It's not over yet, but in
Yeah.
August it will be. So I feel like it's almost like looking back at like the person I was a year and a half before is not even the same person. And this already how I feel personally, like having gone through 2025, like my therapy, like all the big changes that I made to my life. I feel like in August, I'm probably going to be like, oh wow, like I'm a totally new person and I feel really good about like who I am now. And I feel a lot more aligned, a lot more healed. Not saying that like being healed is ever 100% attainable, but you know what I mean? Like as much as we can on this earthly realm.
Yeah, it takes time when you do healing, when you do therapy to really integrate it, right?
Yeah.
And have those breakthrough moments where you're like, "Whoa, I've actually come past that corner and I'm here now." And you feel like you've turned the page, you feel like you've turned the corner. So I love that for you Pisces and Virgos.
Yeah. And for a lot of people who have been experiencing also illnesses, physical, mental imbalances, I feel like it's going to be a relief, a big relief for everybody because this is not an easy axis. Not to say that there's ever like good or bad signs, but I feel like Virgo and Pisces is a more challenging one to be having eclipses in for everybody.
Mhm.
So
Definitely.
to be ending this one, and of course there's going to be surprises because of course square to Uranus, hey, but
Mhm.
let's hope it's going to be. Well, I feel like also okay, a download that I just got is also we're going also to get gifts and rewards from the past work that was done.
Ooh.
So it's like where you felt stuck maybe in your life, now Uranus squaring. Yes, it's going to bring something sudden and unexpected, but I feel like it's going to bring you out of this stuck energy and bring you like rewards and shifts that you didn't expect, that allow you to really um yeah, like be in another dimension completely, almost.
Hmm. I like that. That sounds good.
I like that too. Let's hope we did our work correctly, and we're
Yeah,
gonna be celebrating in August. So yeah, the rest of the year, not to say that nothing is happening, but the major astrology is between February and August. So I think
definitely.
once we get to that full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, we're going to be also celebrating a lot of all the changes, integrated all the changes that have been happening. Wow, I think this was a really good episode. Thank you so much, Meg, for
Woo.
doing that with me. I'm so
Yes,
so happy to have been able to share astrology information, like our passion. This is very Leo in a way, like our passion to be able to
it
share that with
is.
you guys.
Yes.
Let us know what you think down in the comments. We love to read what you thought about this episode. Let us know what you think personally. And of course, do make sure you like this episode if you did appreciate it. And do make sure also you are subscribed to both Meg Moonbeam's channel and Maison Jupiter channel, because we're going to be each creating more astrology content and maybe even doing some more videos together. Who knows?
We'll see.
Well, anything you'd like to share before we go, Meg?
Um, I think this is a breakthrough year. I think this is a very positive turn, and it can be scary to hear things like, "Oh my God, there's systems collapsing and coming to an ending point, and what the heck are these astrologers talking about?" But this is overall, I think, us even going even more onto the positive timeline. What is in alignment? Thank goodness we're going to be seeing things even more clearer now. Whew. So this is very positive energy, you guys. Very positive overall. And we're
Yeah,
so
I think
happy to
this is
share it
a
with you.
very, yeah, me too. Thank you so much. I think this is a very hopeful also year. I feel like everything that we shared throughout this episode is like a breath of fresh air. I feel like it's a really needed and welcome energy that we need to welcome into our lives. So let us know what you think. Let's hope we were able to share positivity and hope with all of you guys. I think we're going to have a really fun one. And of course, we're going to make other astrology videos. So stay tuned. Thank you so much, Meg. I love you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Julie. Love you too. Thank you.
And see you soon, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.